Fuck you, jet lag. Welcome back to Moving Home Part 2. I'm documenting my transition from China to the US. So just quickly, I have spent 9 months in China. I lived in Nanjing, I traveled for a few weeks, and I lived in Beijing. It is currently Thursday, November 10th, and I am flying out on Saturday, November 12th. It means I have 2 days. I have 2 days until my flight. I have 48 hours until I fly out. The emotions are real right now. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in, especially as someone who is already pretty emotional. It's I keep having these bouts of just crying. Part of that is because Trump was elected president, which was not what I expected or wanted for America, but that's whatever. Please don't turn this into a political discussion, but my point is that made me cry. It's also all this pent-up anxiety and concern for moving home. And you might be like, why are you so concerned about moving home? Because I'm just a really anxious person, and I just always think the worst is going to happen. Basically, when I bought my plane ticket, as you saw in part 1, I went through this whole thing in my head of why I'm not looking forward to leaving, why I am looking forward to leaving. And there were a lot more things on the list of why I'm looking forward to leaving. But the big thing, leaving my husband, that sucks. I'm still upset about that. It's gonna be a bummer. It's gonna go really, really fast. We realized that we've been in Beijing for about 3.5 months now. And when I told him that, he was like, whoa, holy crap, it does not feel like that long. And I totally agree. It really doesn't feel like it. So I think 6 weeks is gonna go fast. It's weird leaving and having him not leave because I don't really want to gloat in front of him about leaving. There's some reasons I would gloat and some reasons that he would be more excited to be staying. So it's a pros and cons thing, but our apartment sucks. It's just the way it is. It's not the greatest place to live. So the fact that I get to leave that and the fact that I get to go have all the comforts of home again and the convenience of home. I'm excited for that, and I'm excited to see our dog. He's our dog. We got him together, Eric and I. So he's kind of like our little baby. So I don't want to gloat about getting all that stuff before him. And I want him to cherish the time he has left in China and enjoy it, enjoy every day. So that's a little weird territory to be in. For a while after I went through all the emotions of oh, I'm gonna miss this, I'm gonna miss this, I'm not gonna miss this, about maybe a week before I was gonna leave, this past Saturday, so it's Thursday today, past Saturday, I started feeling I was just in limbo. I am just constantly feeling I have all these things to do just weighing down on me, and at the same time I'm lacking the motivation and the mindset to do them because I have this big change coming. You know when you have a huge to-do list and you don't get it all done, and at the end of the day you need to just stop trying to check things off the list and you need to wake up in the morning and start fresh? That's what I want to do. I want to wake up in the US and start fresh and do my entire list when I'm there. But one of my friends from back in San Francisco left a really good comment, and I'm going to try to look it up right now. So here's what my friend said, and I thought it was pretty insightful. She said, in therapy, there's a common practice where when you are told you have 5 minutes left of the session, the client suddenly explodes with anything that they forgot to mention during the previous 55 minutes for the fear that they are missing something really important that their therapist should know. That feeling of wanting to start a lot of projects might be from knowing your time is limited and you want to make sure you took advantage of the remaining time. It's super normal to feel in limbo when something is finishing, but recognize there's so much more to this ending than just the end of a chapter. Okay, this is so cliche, but every end is a new beginning. Everything that's hard and a big change means a new beginning. So I'm starting a new beginning in the US. And along with that, I'm realizing comes a lot of housework type stuff. I don't literally mean housework, I mean adulting type things. That reminds me of this meme that I love. More than just stressed out about leaving China or being away from my husband, I'm really stressed about how long my frickin' to-do list is when I get home. Okay, so when I get back to the US, I have to apply for health insurance for 2017, up my car insurance because it's been on this plan where it's they know that no one's driving it, so it's a really cheap plan. Double check that my car registration is unsuspended because they suspended it at one point, and I don't know what the status is because the DMV is the DMV, and they obviously never contacted me back. I also am going to try to sell my mom's car. If anyone's in the Pacific Northwest looking to buy a nice car, let me know. Set up my car for my GoPro mount because I want to be able to talk to you guys while I'm driving, and also get shots of road trips. Mail a box of Christmas gifts to Eric's family. We have friends coming up from San Francisco for New Year's Eve, and we're gonna spend it in Seattle, so I have to settle the plans for that. I need to cancel a few of my accounts like YouTube Red and Audible because it's just not gonna fit in with my life when I get back to the US. I'm gonna look into Patreon. This is the first I've mentioned it on here. We'll see how that goes. I'm gonna look into Patreon and see what the deal is. Get business cards printed so that when people ask me, oh, what have you been up to? Then like I can give them a business card and be like, join the Fearless Fam. I'm gonna do a Facebook campaign for my YouTube channel and or my blog. I need to redesign my website, which I know I keep saying I'm going to do, and then I haven't done it. I need to film a channel trailer, and I need to call a friend who has a social media consulting company, and she has offered me work in the past, but I was leaving for China, and so I need to call her and get that all figured out. So as you can see, there's a lot of things. So not only do I feel like I'm going to have a period where I'm like super jet lagged and just trying to like mentally and like physically adjust to being back in America, and I'm so excited to see my dog, and there's gonna be so many cool like reunions and moments when I get back. I also have like all these like things weighing down on me that are all like very official and like necessary to happen, and I know that the reason I'm anxious about it, now that I've like read these out loud to you, and that's why I'm smiling, is because I'm looking at it as one solid list of like, oh my god, I can't possibly do these all in one day. I don't have to do them all in one day. I have to tackle them one at a time. That's when my anxiety creeps up, is when I think that I have to do everything at one time and as fast as possible, and then I get all freaked out, and then if I take a step back, and Eric's really good at reminding me of this, I just need to tackle things one by one. Prioritizing and looking at things one at a time really helps my anxiety. That's something that I've been struggling with. I have to constantly remind myself, like, just do one thing at a time, you're doing your best, keep moving forward, stop worrying. That's something I have to keep reminding myself when I think about what's in front of me when I land in the States. Oh, also my cell phone. I didn't even put that on the list. One really cool thing that happened very recently, as you guys know, is I went to Nanjing. And I like to call Nanjing my China roots because that's kind of like where I got my first taste of China. That's the very first place we lived, and we were there for about 5 months. So I recently got the chance to go back to Nanjing, and it was so interesting being back there because in Nanjing you get a lot more like people staring, and it's a little bit of a different vibe than Beijing, and I expected all this. I knew what to expect. I had like another Chinese city, Beijing, to compare it to. So it was funny like going back into Nanjing and knowing exactly what to expect, feeling like I could navigate the city no problem on my own, feeling like I had a bunch of people there that I knew, just not being afraid to get lost, and just not really having as much fear. And it was so interesting to feel that way and to feel so confident and like content being back in Nanjing, because it reminded me of when I first got to China and I felt super freaked out. When we first got to China, I was just a mess. I was such a mess. I was just crying like every other hour. I would just like burst into tears like uncontrollably and like for no reason. There were a few times though actually where I was really missing my dog. That was a huge thing for me, was like leaving the dog. There were a few times where I heard like some squeaky sounds, sometimes because like little kids around here have squeaky shoes, which is so funny, and it reminded me of the dog, and I started bawling. Squeaky noises make me sad. God, someone's honking like crazy outside. I will not miss that. But yeah, I was such a mess when we came to Nanjing, and I was like, I'm never gonna get used to this, and I hate riding in cabs because I have to trust Eric, and like he's using his Chinese skills to the best of his ability, but like I don't really have a barometer to know like, is he speaking good Chinese? Can he get us through this? And can we trust this person? Like I have to put a lot of faith in Eric and in the people around us because of the language barrier. It was a really big issue. I still remember when I moved all our stuff from the hotel to our new apartment. They will not stop honking. I looked like a total freak. I was like rolling these huge suitcases that were like brand new, so of course they stand out. They're like, oh, this is a rich person. Like I'm like toting it from like a nice hotel, like in these like huge suitcases, down these like alleyways and trying to remember where I was, like where the new apartment was. And then I had to carry them by hand. These are like 50 pounds each. I had to carry them up 5 flights of stairs by myself. Eric offered to help obviously, but I was like, no, like you have class all day today, so I'll just like spend an hour like, you know, going back and forth and taking a bunch of different trips and like bringing all up the stairs. But it was exhausting. I felt like a total hot mess, and I remember just not being able to understand like what the washing machine said on it. I didn't know how to work the TV. Like I felt like I needed Eric for everything. And I was so freaked out, afraid of getting lost, afraid of everything. I was just so fearful of China. It was just funny to go back to Nanjing and feel like I wasn't afraid anymore. It was like everything had come full circle. Eric and I were standing on the Nanjing railway station platform, one of the platforms, waiting for our train to pull up, go back to Beijing. And I remember telling Eric, you know what's funny is I think I'm gonna miss China more than I'm gonna miss you. And he was like, oh, interesting. And I'm like, I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean like, I know when I'm gonna see you again. I don't know when I'm gonna see China again. I had that feeling because we were leaving Nanjing and I didn't know when I'd be back in Nanjing. And then I realized that only like a week and a half later, I would be feeling the same exact way about Beijing. Like, I don't know when I'm gonna be back in Beijing. So I was like tearing up. I was sad because I don't know when I'm gonna be back in China, but at the same time, I feel so grateful to have had this experience. And I was like almost just so happy because I never thought I would miss China, but I'm going to miss China. I'm happy that I'm going to be sad to leave China. I kind of explained this more in a blog post that I'll link down below, but yeah, it was just a really weird experience. So the moments that I'm most looking forward to, because I mean, as we can talk all day about like big picture things, but when it really comes down to it, there's like moments that are gonna stick out in my head. Moments that I'm really looking forward to are making eye contact with my dad in the airport and being like, yay, someone I know I can speak English with. It'll be nice to like see him again. And then the reunion with my dog. I've talked endlessly about this. I'm so excited to have that little reunion. I'm like literally stressed out about how I'm gonna film it because it's a very pivotal moment. Like, this could decide the fate of my YouTube career. I'm just kidding. It's such a like weird, stupid concern, but at the same time, it is important. I don't know, it's hard to explain. This is like super shallow, but I'm really excited to use my new Gorilla Pod because I just got a Gorilla Pod. It's my first tripod ever. And it works for DSLR. I checked my DSLR will work on it, this GoPro will work on it, and then eventually I'm gonna get a vlogging camera and that will work on it as well. And that's gonna help me get a lot of cool shots and do a lot of like fun, different videos. So I'm really excited to see my Gorilla Pod and like use that for the first time. Basically what's gonna happen is I'm gonna go home and then several days later my dad's gonna fly down to Southern California. I'm gonna be home alone in the house with the dog for like 5 days, 6 days. And then my parents are road tripping up from Southern California back home. And I'm looking forward to the moment where they pull up and Abe and I are really excited because everyone's all back together. Abe's my dog. And my mom actually brought her dog with her. So it'll be cool to see Cujo's reaction. That's my mom's dog. He's like a really big like golden yellow lab mix. It'll be fun to see his reaction and to see my mom again. And I'm excited for that moment. I'm really excited to see my friends. I'm really excited to see my friend Taylor's little kid, because I actually met her when she was only like a few days old. And so it'll be really crazy to see how big she's gotten, because last time I saw her, she was like not really saying words. She was just being really silly, and she was starting to come into her personality and like dancing and hiding in the cabinets. But now I hear she's talking a lot, so that'll be really fun. The main moment that's sticking out in my head that I'm totally dreading is saying goodbye to Eric, my husband, at the airport. That's what I'm not looking forward to. And I did ask him to come all the way to the airport with me, which normally I wouldn't, but like it's gonna be a pain in the ass to bring all my bags, so it'll be nice to have someone like take one of the bags for me. Everything will be a little less awkward. I'm also really sincerely dreading going through customs and the idea of them taking something away, because I have gifts for people and I want them to get them, and I have like birth control that I'm really hoping they'll let me take in, because it would save me so much money if I could just take in this birth control. It's a brand that's legal in the US, please. I don't know, whatever, it's fine. Yeah, those are the main moments that I'm like excited about and also dreading. I guess like all that's gonna happen over the next few days is things are just gonna be wrapping up. I have most of my stuff packed. As you can see, I've got 2 big suitcases, backpack, purse, and all these clothes like hanging up to dry. I've done all the laundry that I'm going to do for the rest of my time here. I've pretty much checked everything off my Beijing to-do list, which is crazy. Coming to an end, it's wrapping up. It's actually happening. It's really, really surreal. That's the main feeling that I feel about this whole thing, is that it's just very surreal. Lots of deep breaths. We're going to make it. By we, I just mean I'm going to make it. I just have to keep telling myself that. It's going to be okay. I'm going to keep daily vlogging, so if you clicked on this specifically to watch stuff about moving home after living abroad, I also recommend you go watch like what it was actually like to like leave China and arrive in the US, because I've been vlogging this entire time. But yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you very soon. And next time I update this series, it will be in Washington. Let's be real. It's gonna be like a vlog of me being like, F you jet lag. And I'm just gonna be like trying not to fall asleep. But there will be a dog licking my face, so very excited about that. I'll see you very soon. Bye.